There's something in the air. Can you feel it? It's kind of like that feeling where everything just stops right before a storm. My friends, we are about to enter a major crossroads. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I help people to spiritually awaken so they can enter a conscious path of ascension. And make sure to subscribe so that you catch all my videos to support you on your awakening and ascension journey. And I'm still getting used to these new braces, you guys, so if my face seems a little odd or my speech is a little odd, that's the reason why. I think a lot of people can sense that something is coming. It feels like people are very tense and kind of holding their breath, waiting for what's going to happen next. Now, we've been through a very, very difficult year so far, but I do think we're headed for a bit more upheaval. So in this video, I want to show you two very different paths. I want to give you some much needed clarity in advance, so when things potentially get crazier, you will know what to do and you won't be confused. Now, there is a massive war going on right now for control of this planet. The ancient overlords of this planet have finally reached the apex of their agenda. They are ready to take things to the next level, and if they were to succeed, that would not be good for us. However, they have a pretty big problem. And that problem is that there are powerful cosmic forces that are constantly moving us to ascend in a completely different direction. A direction that is actually good for us. So we as human beings stand between these two forces. We're going to need sufficient strength and clarity to make the best possible choices for ourselves at a much higher level. Now, the controllers want to keep us very confused and very reactive so that we don't even realize that we have a choice to make. They want all of our energy resources going into coping with what they're doing to us, so we have no energy left to think about anything else. They like to use fear, violence, and division to drain our energy resources and keep us completely overwhelmed. Now, the Great Awakening has them feeling very nervous and threatened. And that's why I say there's a storm coming. So we need to understand what is going on before the storm hits. Because the storm is designed to distract and overwhelm us. It's designed to drain us completely. But when you have clarity, you will be able to see through all of it and continue on your ascension journey. So that's what I want to help you with today. I want to show you the two very clear paths of energy that you get to choose between. Now, the overlords who have run our human systems on this planet for millennia are all about suppression and control. Whereas the cosmic forces of ascension are all about freedom, creativity, and expansion. So there are your two choices right there. Now, the overlords consist of physical human proxies, along with extraterrestrial and other dimensional entities who favor the dark side of our current reality. And the cosmic forces of ascension consist of lightworkers, starseeds, and wayshowers, along with benevolent extraterrestrials and other powerful interdimensional forces of light and love. The forces of ascension are aligned with nature in its highest, most universal form. The overlord controllers, on the other hand, are allied with everything that is anti-nature or artificial. Artificial, of course, means fake. It's a fake version of nature. In other words, it's built on lies. Lies about nature and lies about who we really are. Now, pay attention to this sequence. For thousands of years, the controllers imposed a false identity on us. They essentially told us in one form or another that our purpose here and who we are is really designed to be worker slaves. Our main job was to get educated to be able to spend our lives working for their agenda. And then we were supposed to reproduce along the way to provide future workers for the same agenda. But now that's all gone because 2020 is the year that they shut down our ability to work and do pretty much everything else that we used to do. So they shut down the entire thing, and now they are giving us a brand new identity. Our new identity is that we are walking, talking biohazards. We are essentially disease-carrying entities whose primary function is to exist as a death threat just by virtue of the fact that we breathe. In other words, the primary thing about us now in the natural world is that we are dangerous disease-carrying monsters. Now, this new, very negative identity is meant to be a transitional identity. It's not the permanent one, it's just a transitional one. And this is so fascinating, you guys. This new identity is meant to transition us away from being biological worker slaves into existing as the power source for a synthetic, completely false version of ourselves. You see, our souls are coveted by these dark forces because they are what is needed to keep this fake reality going. So their idea right now is to completely shut us down on a physical, mental, and emotional level. Their real aim is to detach us psychologically from the old world that we were emotionally invested in. And then they can easily transition us into a so-called new and better world, a world of AI consciousness. But the whole problem they're having right now is that people are waking up all over the world. And the forces of ascension are pushing us to continue waking up even more. The light of ascension is greatly illuminating all that is going on here. So the controllers are going to have to create a whole lot of smoke and confusion to prevent us from seeing any more of what they're really up to. And that's what the coming storm is all about. We are probably going to see more clashes and more violence erupting. The media will tell us that politics is the only thing we need to be concerned about and that nothing else matters. And meanwhile, the real story will be going on behind the scenes. So here's what you need to know about energy in order to stay on your ascension path and continue moving towards the light. You are going to be dealing with two main potential flows of energy. The energy of the controllers is what we as Telstar like to call a reverse flow of energy. This is a flow of energy that goes against life. It's about control, repression, and shutdown. It's about stopping ascension, and it's about ending love and creativity. The idea is to create a totally artificial kingdom of so-called life to replace what is natural. Now, why would anyone want to do that, you might ask? Isn't nature so much better? Well, of course it is. But nature emanates from the light. It is literally the creation of light. And light is always seen as a threat by these dark forces. So the darkness would prefer to create a fake universe where there is no light, or at least as little light as possible. So that's what a reverse flow of energy is all about. It's anti-light and anti-life. See, that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to shut down your light. They want to shut down any light that you might have of hope, optimism, and creativity. And they also want to shut down your life by removing any and all areas of physical expression of that life, such as all the things that we used to be allowed to do. They want to keep us shut down long enough that we completely forget about our previous experience of life. That way, it will be easy for them to shift our consciousness into an entirely new matrix. You see how clever that is? Now, the other flow of energy is what we as Telstar like to call a radiating flow of energy. This is the flow of energy that the higher forces of light are aligned with. A radiating flow of energy literally emanates from the highest, most infinite source of light, which is the source of all creation in the natural universe. A radiating flow of energy emanates from the highest source of light and love. It is completely aligned with the truth of who we really are as infinite cosmic beings. A radiating flow of energy is what allows us to reach our full potential as cosmic creators. It is the force behind our ascension. So now let's take a look at how these two flows of energy are manifesting in our world. A radiating flow of energy is life-giving and life-sustaining. It's the same force of energy that makes plants grow from seeds and tiny drops of cellular life expand into full-blown, beautiful life forms, like ourselves, for example. A radiating flow of energy is the force behind creation. It's the force behind all life in its natural form. A radiating flow of energy exists as the trajectory through which love manifests. Here are some of the most familiar ways that we see a radiating flow of energy manifesting here on Earth. We see it in someone's smile. We see it in acts of kindness. We see it and feel it in a warm embrace. We see it in the powerful creativity and abundance that exists throughout all of nature. We feel it whenever we experience joy and optimism. We see it manifesting whenever we heal. We experience it when we reach our positive goals and manifest what we want. And we always see it in acts of love. So what you really need to know is that anything that carries that awesome energy of a radiating flow exists as a total threat to the dark forces of the controllers. It's a threat because they can't control it. It's more powerful than they are. So if they allow it to exist, then they have no choice but to eventually align with it. And that's why they want an AI artificial reality instead of the real one. They want to establish a completely artificial universe that has no outward sign of a radiating flow of energy. They want a universe of little or no light. So they push against that radiating flow of energy in an attempt to suppress it, control it, and kill off its manifestations wherever possible. And then they intend to insert an AI substitute instead. So once they get us sufficiently repressed and dumbed down as creators, it's easy to say, well, people, AI is your only option to have any experience at all. And that's what they're trying to do right now. That's what all the masks and the lockdowns are really all about. They want to remove any and all avenues of natural experiences and positive expressions. They want to make us so miserable that we will eventually see the AI path as being better than nothing. They're going to bill it as freedom. They're going to bill it as a way out of our miserable state. The miserable state that they put us in, right? So you see how simple that really is? You shut everything down for an extended period, and then you eventually open up only one gate. You open up the gate of AI. And then all that repressed energy will flood out through that gate right into the AI universe. Now, there are many, many forces of light trying to wake us up and prevent this from happening. But we need to align with those forces so they can be effective at helping us. And the overlord controllers know this, which is why I suggest that there could very well be a coming storm. There is a good chance that they will use violence, mayhem, and division to terrorize us further and keep us off balance, to make us lose our focus until their mission is complete. So here's what you can do to maintain your light and keep this whole thing really simple. Whatever is happening, ask yourself this question. Is this flow of energy that I am witnessing or experiencing aligned with a radiating flow of life or a reverse flow of destruction? You see, a radiating flow is one of life, love, happiness, and creativity. A reverse flow is one of death, control, repression, and destruction. So a radiating flow is the energy of love, light, and creativity, and a reverse flow is the energy of fear and destruction. It's critical that you understand these two flows of energy so you always know which one to align yourself with. So if and when this storm hits, you can always stay conscious and clear by looking at the different flows of energy. If you want to support your ascension and your life in general, make sure that you align yourself with a radiating flow of energy wherever possible. You can do that in big ways and you can do it in small ways. The best thing to do is just take it one day at a time. How much of your day is aligned with a radiating flow of energy? And then notice if any part of your day is slipping into a reverse flow. If you see that happening, see if you can correct your course and shift back into a more natural radiating flow of energy. This is how you can navigate any coming storms with clarity and resolve and stay on your ascension path. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would benefit from this information. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with new videos to support your awakening and your ascension journey. And with that, I'm sending you loads of love, light, and positive energy, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.